Are you looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the PrizePicks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, PrizePicks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/bluewire and use code BLUEWIRE. That's code BLUEWIRE at prizepicks.com/bluewire for a first deposit match of up to $100. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Today's episode is brought to you by Cars.com. With over 2 million vehicles and 50,000 more added every day, Cars.com will match you with the perfect car for you, your budget, your life, your style. And if you're ready to say goodbye to your current car, Cars.com will get you an instant offer to cash it in. Just start by entering your license plate and get matched with a local dealer who will write you the check. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, just go to Cars.com. It's magical.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Mavs Moneyball's Group Therapy, brought to you by me, Kirk Henderson, editor-in-chief of MavsMoneyball.com. Thank you for joining me following yet another preposterously stupid Dallas Mavericks loss. This time brought to you by a ton of missed free throws from every fucking player in the starting lineup. Every single player in the starting lineup missed a free throw in the fourth quarter. Some of them 3. Shout out to you, Tim Hardaway. Have missed 5 straight fourth quarter free throws. Really impressive. Hard to do, actually. Really something. Also followed up. Also joining us in failure is head coach Jason Kidd, seemingly unable to design defense or offense in clutch time situations. If you go back and watch what the Bucks did, you see Luka standing outside the 3-point line, his back to the ball, doing Christ knows what. And then there's a simple back screen, and Brook Lopez gets a layup. Then following the Mavericks had 2.4 seconds left to get a shot off, and you'd be shocked to know that the play that they had designed was the really cool Luka Doncic shoot the ball from far away play that the Bucks knew was coming. Really, it was just absolutely fucking outstanding. Just the piece de resistance to this incredible performance. A dumpster fire of a loss. Shout out to Corey. This is an institutional loss. Because the Dallas Mavericks are the 4th best free throw getting team in the league. They shoot the 4th most on a per game basis. They are also the 4th worst free throw shooting team in the league. Now, most of that lies with Luka Doncic, who once again can't hit the broadside of a barn on a free throw. Shot 4 of 10 tonight from the line. He's going to be mad because this lies on him, and him being the superstar player, he has to take the rub. It is on him. He has to do better. I just don't know what else to say. So, Brett Stover has the really cool half-court hoops video, which you guys should go check out. It's just disgusting. I don't. All right, guys, come up here. Let's talk. Let's get it out, and let's go to bed, because the Dallas Mavericks play in 16 hours, I think, if I can do math. No, 18 hours. Excuse me. All right, coming up first, let's go, Sam. How you doing, Sam?
Hey, Kirk. Yeah, that was fucking pathetic. Missed free throws. You just said what I was pretty much going to say. It's just funny how the Bucks ran they ran that same play against the Thunder, I believe, when they went into overtime one time without Giannis, oddly enough. Brook Lopez just cut to the basket and great play. And meanwhile, it's the Luka shoot half-court 3 play on the other end. Like, that's all we run in late-game situations when the game's on the line. This year anyway, which is really frustrating. And just the fact that the free throws, man, it's sad when you see Dorian go to the line. You're like, he's not gonna make both of these.
He didn't hit it. He didn't hit either. Just killing me. Like, I knew Dorian wasn't going to hit either.
Yeah.
Just knew it.
Yeah, and Tim, I swear, he gets fouled on 3-point shots more than anybody I've seen in the league this year, and he never converts all his free throws on those. Even when he gets 4-point plays, he never makes the 4-point play. He always misses the free throw, which is just insane. I don't know. Every time you want to get hope into this team, they figure out a way to just let you down. And Luka, I don't know what he's mad at the end of the game.
I don't know either. Like, is he mad at the play design? Is he mad at his teammates? Is he mad at himself? I've seen him kind of do this a couple of times this year, getting mad at teammates. And I understand it. Like, I absolutely understand it. It can't be done. He can't be doing it. He can't do it again. It's too early in the season. You get one of those maybe twice a year, I think, where you can really show your emotion and be mad at your team. But played a role in this. 6 missed free throws. I know he's Superman, and I know he does a ton for us. But 6 missed free throws is not a thing. It's unacceptable. I've watched the video. So, guys, at the Twitter account at HalfCourtHoops, I'll post it in the show notes for people listening the next day. There's a great video about the Dallas Mavericks' final offensive play. It's annoying. I am annoyed by it. That is probably the 4th thing on my list of things that I'm annoyed at. The defense on the play where Brook Lopez scores is horrific. Look where Luka's standing. It makes no sense.
Yeah, and I'll get off with this. It's just it's funny because we all the whole Christian Wood fourth quarter thing that is at this point is we stomped it to the ground. But if the Mavericks are going to play defense like that in the fourth quarter, which they have a lot this year, where guys just don't know what they're doing, with the Golden State game, Klay Thompson gets a wide open 3. That's just one example of plenty, and the guys just don't know what they're doing on the floor. So if they don't know what they're doing and they've been here for 5-6 years, why the hell isn't Christian Wood in the game at this point? So that's all I got. This team dude. We should be 18-4. Like dead ass. It's just a excuse me, but it is what it is. We're probably gonna get beat by Chicago tomorrow. And we'll be at 500 again. We're just wasting these victories, but whatever.
Yep. All right. Thanks so much, Sam. Talk soon. Let's go with my man. Okay, so I was supposed to record with Logan tonight. Logan is Mavs Moneyball staff member, writes long things for us that he turns in on the morning of games, which we don't. Loves posting 1,300 word columns on times when no one's going to read them. But Logan, we could easily pump out 4,800 words on this just garbage.
Yeah.
From this game. This is a horror. I've not been this fired up about a single game in a long time.
No, me
Maybe
either.
it's because I had to write the whole thing. I had a whole recap written. I had to scrap all of it. I scrapped 500 words away because they lost this fucking game.
Well, I was about to say it's either 4,000 words or it's 7. Which is part of why it's so frustrating is that, even if we lost without losing that way, I had, so much to talk about. I just thought it was, there was a lot to take away. And
There's some incredible stuff. The Mavericks played really great for about 40 minutes.
Yeah. Man.
Let's talk about some of that. Let's talk, give me some of your things let's add some positivity because there's 15 other people I'm sure that want to, come up here and say why the world sucks.
Well, I mean, we're not seeing any of the dumb rotate. I feel like the rotations and stuff are kind of set. And the galaxy braining of let's see what other lineup will work. What about this one? And all the fans are just well, that's not going to work. We know it's not. That's kind of out the window. There's 8 or 9 guys and they play pretty set rotations and it seems to be working out pretty well. The Maxey Wood stuff seems to be working out well as Maxey's playing better defense. I think they know. I think sometimes Josh works well with Luka, but then he also works well with Spencer because he helps Spencer move the ball, actually, just do anything. So, I mean, I just think a lot of stuff was working that we kind of saw bubbling, but they just kept getting in their own way throughout the season. And then this game, it was 90% of this stuff is working. They've done all the stuff that was getting in their own way is out of their system. And then at the end, they do the ultimate. It was the penultimate apex of getting in their own way. So it's just maybe a lot of people are maybe this is what 500 basketball looks like.
Yeah. Oh God. Yes.
But
I mean, that's what it's there's somebody that I talk to almost every day. I talk to like 50 to 60 Mavs fans every day. And there's one person my friend Dwight, who said before the game, I'm ready to lie to myself about this team.
That's that's the terminology he always uses. I was too. I actually just messaged him back and said, they don't want us to lie to ourselves. They're doing us a favor. It's like when a girl that's bad for you dumps you.
Ooh.
It's like you think you're getting dumped and you're like, man, I can't believe she's out of my life. And then all your friends are just like, dude, you need to be lying to yourself about that.
Well, what's crazy to me is that, like, I, honest to God, I was so mad about the free throws. I did not consider the final two plays because, in my opinion, the final two plays is not what defines a basketball game. It's everything that leads up to it. And the Mavs, like, there were, Spencer Dinwiddie cannot throw a fucking lob to save his life ever. He just misses open passes. And so the Mavericks had played so good in that start to the fourth quarter. And then in the third quarter too, where it's just, they're holding off, the Luka-less minutes. They're holding Giannis off, just really doing something well. And then they have like 3 bad plays in a row. And not just like missed shot bad, like borderline turnovers. Like there was the one bad oop that he threw to Wood that basically resulted in an and one going the other direction, I think. And you just can't give a team this good, meaning the Bucks, any room. And the Mavericks did for 90 seconds, and all of a sudden the game was tied. And so I don't like necessarily begrudge that, because it's like the Bucks are the better team. They are a more complete team. They have 4 players who so much better than the Mavericks. I'm sorry. Like Brook Lopez is an all defensive candidate guy. He's incredible. And it's hard to be too mad about elements of like losing a lead, for example, but then they come back in and it's just, I don't understand. So many mistakes. Do you know that they didn't have a turnover in the second half? No, they had one turnover in the second half, and they lost the game.
That's wild. I mean, what was the total turnovers then?
10.
Yeah, because they turned it over 9
sorry,
times in the first half.
Team turnover.
But yeah, I mean, when you start talking about that, like the talent difference, it starts to be like there's no room for error, because those 3 plays you're talking about, like I could have picked out 3 Bucks possessions in a row that were shitty, but
sure.
You know what I mean? But they like the talent. And so I think kind of what makes you lie to yourself is that when it's working, you're like, well, this can work. And then the talent can't make up for like, I guess that you can either be talented or you can be stupid. Or what? No, sorry. You can either be smart or you can be not talented. And too many times we're both. Whereas I think at our best last year, like we were one of the smarter teams, just like we get shot quality, the guys play hard. And it's just like these dumb mistakes. Like Dorian has made so many, and it drives me nuts because of the kind of player he is, that like sturdy 3-and-D guy who makes clutch shots. We want to tell ourselves that he's like this very dependable guy. And it's like, he's made so many brain farts. It's driving me insane. I love him so much. And it's just like every end of game, we've won a lot of games that they've brain farted, but like the Denver game, they were brain farting away. They pulled it out.
Give me some examples. I agree with you, but I want the people to hear. Give me a couple examples from the game that you consider a brain fart.
Well, I mean, the free throws, I guess, are partially what I'm talking about, but that play with Lopez, I don't really understand. Like kids said that they weren't supposed to switch, but I haven't seen the whole soundbite. Have you seen what kids said about the defense?
No, because I go straight into this stuff, because if I don't, I don't finish till like 3 a.m. And honestly, I don't think like. I don't really like when he says things. He often says it like he's. I should edit that out. Kids, I mean, it's coach speak is basically what I mean to say. It's coach speak in the sense of what I'm talking about.
Well, I guess in this one specifically, I'm talking about Dorian missing free throws, because remember there was the one game where he fouled on the 3-pointer, but he like fouled when the guy was shooting it, so they got three free throws. Whatever, can't say it. But yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of good stuff to take away, and I just hate that it's all wiped out, and it feels like there's just no room for error because you don't have the talent to overcome it. You know what I mean? You can't be like the Timberwolves last year were a team that was always playing dumb, but they would go on like 20-point runs just from like sheer force.
Yep.
And we just don't have that. I mean, you could kind of say that's what the Bucks did. They had Giannis, and they were sheerly forcing their way back into the game.
That's exactly right, because Giannis he was 5 of 14 entering the fourth quarter. The Mavericks had played him well. He had also just missed some shots. And there's an inevitability of watching Giannis, which is what makes him such a fun and great player to watch. And the Mavericks just didn't.
That is a thing that I think the supposed ball handler player can help us with, is that, like, I've talked about this before about how, like, I feel like you either need that kind of overwhelming force, that undeniability, or you do need to be like an exceptionally smart team. And I talked about that in the Brunson article, that, like, I think Brunson did help us be kind of an organized like skill-based team. And I just don't feel like Luka being a wonder kid is enough to be like considered a smartly run offensive team. We might be a good offensive team, but we're not like, it's not just like beautiful basketball, which people can say that's because it's heliocentric, but I'm just talking about being like organized. But I was about to say that those kind of guys are the kind of guys that make free throws. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're the kind of guys that at the end of the game, they make the right decision. So you don't have to just give it to Luka. It can be like, give it to that guy. Luka's, it's just, there's got to be more optionality. And obviously Kidd himself does not bring that option. He can't come up with anything beyond.
I mean, that's what's so shocking. Like, that's what the element of this, because it's like we would really like to be able to sit here and say they lost because of this reason. And the main reason they lost is the free throws. I think we all kind of agree on that. Like, you just can't go 10 of 24 as a team. But then you look at where it's there. They had opportunities to outlast that issue. They had the opportunity to make that, to basically win in spite of that fuckery. And they couldn't do it. And they couldn't do it in no small part, I think, because of what you're describing.
Yeah.
So, well, man, thanks for hanging out. We will record an actual podcast with you at one point. I like talking about the game.
I appreciate it. I understood tonight not being the night, because it's like, what are we going to do, bitch? You know?
That's right. All right, man. Talk soon. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay. Now we're just going to go. All right, Ruben, what do you got? Let's make it snappy.
Yo, Kirk, can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah. Oh, man. I watched that clip, and I had two theories about that last play. After watching that clip, if you haven't seen it, basically the Bucks knew our play, which I don't see why they wouldn't, because it looked like we always run that play as the last play of the game. And Luka and C. Wood pretty much noticed it and looked at the coach staff like, they pretty much called out, is there anything else we can go to? And basically, like, as soon as Spence got the ball from the ref, like, Luka kind of already knew, like, same old shit, throw it up, miss. So I'm like right there, and when he like yelled, without watching that clip on Twitter, I was thinking he was yelling at C. Wood, because I was like, why the fuck would C. Wood go to the 3-point line when you just need a 2? I would figure he would cut to the goal so Luka can dish it real quick and easy bucket. But then he goes to the 3-point line, and Luka is forced to chunk something up, and I thought he was yelling at C. Wood that. Or not. But I
was muted. Sorry. I need to take a deeper look into it. I don't have a firm enough. I've not watched it enough times to give it a take that I don't want to regret.
Right. And also people like falling for Timmy's it's like false gold, bro. Like, soon as you get hot, trade his ass. Like, it was people like, oh, we got to keep him now. No, you already know it's a flash in the pan. Like, he's going to get cold. Like, the reason we lost is the free throws, but only Luka, Seawood, and Spence were in double figures, but Luka got 33. I think Seawood only had 14. And I'm sorry, there's no excuse for, like, that last defensive play. It's not – you can't blame Seawood on that. You had guys that's been here for 4 or 5 years letting that easy layup go. And basically all Jake Kidd said in the press conference was, we got to look at it. We weren't supposed to switch.
They didn't put any pressure on the ball.
Nothing.
Luka's standing with his back turned to the ball. I want to know why Luka is there. Hey, seriously, you'll go watch it, and it's like YMCA ball bullshit. It doesn't make sense why Luka is there,
and not a bigger player. Like they did to us. Like that's coaching right there. Like what the fuck? Yeah. And then what makes it worse, the missed free throws. We can't. Oh my god. This would have been a perfect game. Like, we had crazy dunks, crazy threes. But what makes it worse, all those players in single digits, and we have Hardy going off for 39 points in the G League, shooting 6 for 7 on free throws with 4 assists. I'm sorry, bro. Like,
do you live in the area?
I'm sorry. I am so sorry, but we got to trade these guys, bro. Like, we got to, as soon as they're hot, let them go. Like, I'm not even looking for a big piece. We got to rotate out these role players, some of them with younger, or better players.
Are you a Dallas guy?
Yes, very.
Okay. I know Frisco's not really Frisco.
Oh, no, I've only been in Frisco for about 5 years.
Okay. They play tomorrow night. Tickets are like $6 in some instances. You should go see them.
I'm about to go, and I want to see it. But what is Jay Hardy doing? He's playing against kindergarten. Like he was out of that league for maybe 2-3 games. He's probably the highest scoring player out there. Like he could make his free throws. Josh Green was making free throws. You got to get these young guys.
I was like, when he hit those, this is nice.
Everybody had a sigh of relief, and then everybody's expecting like vets. These are 2 vets. Oh, these guys got it. 0 for 3, 0 for 2. I'm like, but that hurt. But let's trade Timmy. I'm not even sure if Luka can play. Like, you already know they're going to be gassed tomorrow. He's going to have no legs. But you got to trade Timmy.
I don't know if you can, man. I don't know if you can.
Do it now.
All right, man.
No problem.
All right, we're going to go to Will next. Will, well.
Appreciate you getting me up here quickly.
Sure.
Man, I don't know what the fuck to even say about that. Like, I was so happy with this game. I was feeling so good. We had our best highlight plays of the season. Luka had maybe the best dunk of his career, at least up there. Josh had that fucking dunk that I didn't even know. I don't
understand how the ball went. I thought he got rejected by the rim as I'm watching it.
Me too. That was literally, I had to see the score change. To understand what I had just seen. Like, I had some positive notes for this game that I had taken in my notes app. Like, I was excited to come into a what's it called? Mavs party. I was excited for a Mavs party. These motherfuckers just can't do it.
That's where it's just like, I want to lie to myself.
Me too. I want to be wrong. I have a Lucas Stan homie that it just lies to me about this team. Like he predicted Luka MVP, Mavs top 3 seed, Mavs conference finals, and I told him he was fucking insane. Told me the Jalen Brunson loss didn't matter. I ain't even trying to talk about that shit because that is what it is. What was that last play? How does that happen? How the fuck does that happen? How do you let him get that open? And the thing is, I wasn't even that upset at the actual time that happened because I was just thinking, okay, we knew that they were going to we knew that something stupid was going to happen and they were going to score. At least we have time to get up a shot. And then it's just the same old shit as every other clutch game, which is all of them because we can't blow a team out.
That's right.
But It was the same fucking clutch play as all the others. Contested Luka 30-footer. I don't even remember what the actual shot that he took was. I just remember being upset. Yeah. I have a solid amount of alcohol in my system right now.
Well, you should go look at this. Scroll up in the chat and look at that clip from Half Court Hoops. It's about 90 seconds long, and it will keep you awake for the rest of the night.
God. Oh, God. And hold on. Let me go look at my notes app and see what my notes that I had were. Okay. From the last time that I took notes to come into one of these green rooms, Reggie can't fucking play.
Hey, he hit a 3 tonight. I feel like it's been months.
Congrats. He actually did some stuff on the boards. He didn't play horrible defense. I remember he did some stuff, but like that man, like at this point, until he has a breakout game where he hits like at least three or four threes, he can't play more than like 15 minutes a game. I don't really think that starting actually matters that much. I'm not big on starting Josh or Seawood. I don't think that shit really matters. They just need their touches and their minutes. But like Reggie just can't fucking play. He's just terrible. But one thing that I do have to say is, with Seawood, I was very in at one point, and I'm starting to really understand because we just need some bigs. I think it's Bibbs that said this originally, but we just need some bigs with some ass.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Lopez is such a huge man compared to our bigs. Bobby Portis is a man. Maxey does his best.
And I love Maxey so much, but he just does what he does, and he's great in his role. But we just need him to do way too much. We just need somebody that can box out and grab a fucking rebound on both ends. And actually, another note that I had, the probably one other positive that I took from this game. Josh is so active on both ends of the floor on the boards, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah, he was fun to get. He was the best. His play was really, really positive tonight. I mean, a little frenetic, a little too many jump passes, but I still love the energy, the slapping of the offensive rebounds. It was fun.
So. Absolutely. I think that's about all I have to say. This team makes me want. My Twitter handle is Jason Kidd is a war criminal. Just with the Christmas tree emoji at the end, of course. Got to be festive.
Thanks for hanging out, Will. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
Bye. We're gonna fly through people here. 'Cause I'm tired. Henry, what's up?
Kirk, you know what I'm gonna come up here and say, man.
I don't. I'm tired. You can surprise me.
Look, man, you got to be dead inside when it comes to this shit, man. Like, you have to hollow out your insides like a Sith apprentice, numb yourself to the pain, and just, this is, and then of course earlier you put out the article, or somebody did on Mavs Moneyball, saying there's no help coming. So
yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
I never write good stuff.
You write amazing stuff. This is what it is, man. On the bright side, your Chiefs are probably going to see my Eagles in the Super Bowl. Like, we have that to hang on to. So, look, guys, this is what it is. Like, this is who we are now. So,
what do we do about it?
Get blamed for everything by state media as always. Duh.
Oh yeah. Why did we do this? How could Mavs Twitter coaching, assistant coach, Mavs Twitter, how could we do this? How could we draw up that play? It's a great point. Thank you, Henry.
We're all psychopaths for being in here on a early Saturday morning after this.
We can't do anything about it,
Of course we can't.
The void together.
There is one thing you can do, guys. You have to be dead inside. That's all I got.
Thanks, Henry. You got anything else? Oh, all right, there he goes. All right, let's go with Josh. Josh, you haven't been in here this season. What's going on? Welcome back.
Oh, hey, how are you, Kirk?
I have not had a single thing to drink tonight. I have had no drugs. I want both.
Oh man, I was traveling through Europe for like a half a year, so all of the internet connections were really crappy.
Well, I mean, I would say you'd missed a lot, but you haven't. But
No, I
welcome
listened
back.
to I listened to every show, but I couldn't call in because the internet connections were so
Sure.
bad that I would have been just choppy and annoying. But anyway, I guess my take on this game was that, to bring it a little different, but not for the sake of bringing it different, is that it was a great game. It was exhilarating,
Yeah, it really was
fantastic.
fun.
They were up against a great team,
Yeah.
and they met their energy, and then just caught the yips and crapped the bed, and barely lost. So my take on it is not disastrous. We just whooped on the Suns. I think this is actually just part of a momentum upwards, maybe. I mean, I'm no soothsayer, but I'm just saying. And I'm not so steeped in negativity. Wow, that Josh Green dunk.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. Josh becoming a functional basketball player makes me happy. They need it because they apparently don't have other functioning basketball players.
I mean, to be honest, I actually thought that Christian Wood was kind of, he had an up and down game, but he was competing.
I don't know. He's still Charmin soft. Like, he gets blocked and then he's upset. He had some turnover. Like, Wood is a mixed bag for me as the season goes along.
I know what you mean. I've been thinking that too, but tonight I felt like he seemed like he went through some of those soft moments and then kind of like,
yeah,
I don't know. I thought the whole team was pretty cool. And that last play, with Brooke Lopez, it was also a good screen. And what happened was they got tangled with each other, but it was a screen. I think it was Middleton. And it was a good screen and an awkward react, and they couldn't get over to Lopez.
Yeah.
But the real travesty was like, why didn't you call a timeout there?
I mean, I'm so the wrong person to ask because I have been against Jason Kidd from the moment he was hired. The well was poisoned based on what I know about him in Milwaukee. And also my eyes and my ability to read and my common sense, like all those things playing together to me not liking Jason Kidd as a coach. So yeah, I don't really got a good answer.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess you're the wrong guy to ask that. But we all last year, when we were, steeped in misery, and then from the middle of the season on, our views changed, and the team is different without Brunson.
Yep.
And they're going to have to figure some stuff out, and maybe they're going to do something of this sort, and maybe this is part of the genesis of Kidd as a coach. I don't know. And I'm not being like flowery optimistic for the sake of it. I'm just saying I don't quite see it so gloomy.
Sure.
Especially considering last season.
Well, I mean, they did just win 2 huge games. They basically put the Suns on their downward slide to where if you want any Schadenfreude joy, you can watch Chris Paul being a bitch. As he's pissed as hell at the end of the New Orleans game. Zion Williamson does a cool as hell 360 dunk, and because Chris Paul wants to be mad at him, he basically goes at Jose Alvarado, and it's great. Just starts a fracas because Chris Paul is a clown car of a person.
I watched every second of it, and to be honest, like, hey, if you're gonna go and just take an easy layup, then no. You
Well,
should
layup's
dribble.
almost more like a layup's almost ruder, but
No,
it was
that's
such a
ruder.
cool dunk.
No, it was entertainment at home.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
That was awesome. But yeah, so wait, they play who tomorrow night?
The Bulls, who are also in a tailspin. So let's just say if the Mavericks do what they've done often, which is lose to really terrible teams, we're gonna have a great time. Great time.
Yeah. There's been a lot of. I keep hearing like Zach LaVine rumors, but it's not
Dalton
possible.
That's friend of the program, Dalton Trigg, wish casting.
Yeah, Dalton,
the Mavs
stop
don't
wish
have anything
casting
to make that happen. Also, I think Levine's knee might be scrambled eggs. So
yeah, I wouldn't be super into it. But anyway, that's all I really had to say. I think we have, we're in like the first quarter of the season. We have some time to go. And it's good to call in, but I listen to every show. And
thanks, man.
Thanks for having me up.
I appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
All right. Peace.
This is advertiser content brought to you by Frito-Lay.
Hello, I'm Chip Murphy, here to get you ready for the big tournament. Tonight we'll break down who will be cutting. Cut! What are you two doing?
Sorry, Chip. Prez here got his feathers ruffled when I told him Ruffles has zero chance of winning the title.
And I was letting Dip know that she is not taking into account Ruffles' iconic ridges.
Guys, it's March. We have to start talking about the tournament.
We are. It is the 2023 Frito-Lay Snack It.
We're talking about big-time matchups between Cheetos, Smart Food, Lay's, Sun Chips, and more.
Just head to the Frito-Lay Snack Bracket and vote for your favorite chip, pretzel, or dip for a chance to win up to $1,000 or a year's worth of snacks.
This sounds great. Keep up the good work.
Just go to fritolaysnackit.sbnation.com. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends 4/3/2023. Void where prohibited. Year's worth of snacks awarded in the form of 52 coupons, each good for one bag of chips. See official rules at fritolaysnackit.sbnation.com.
Yeah, it's maddening. Like I am in a group chat with a very strong Bucks fan who might influence my Bucks opinions a great deal, but I just also like the Bucks. Like I like Giannis. I like Chris Middleton. I hate the Celtics too. So like these things all blend together. So beating the Bucks would have been a lot of fun, but here we are. Okay. Brad, you've been waiting. How we doing? Welcome back.
Oh, hello.
How we doing? What's up?
I was a lot fiery right after the game, but I was really pissed initially because, we missed, 5 free points at the end of the game. And then I realized Luka shot 40% from the line. So then I cared less because
right.
it's kind of on everyone at that point. Yeah, just kind of a beat down of a loss, right?
Yeah. You there? You went away for a second.
Am I back?
Yeah, sounded like you dropped. It sounded like
yeah.
you dove into the deep end of the ocean.
Yeah, I know. So I was thinking about my buddies, and I was like, "Oh, imagine if just Luka and Giannis switched teams. Dallas would still be Dallas, right? And we'd still be we're trying to be good, and then Milwaukee would be amazing, right?
Well, they are amazing, but yes.
Yeah, exactly. But what if Giannis could pass, do a little more? I don't know. On the broadcast, I felt like they said Giannis is this unstoppable force. I'm yeah, but that's what Luka is for us.
For offense only though, and that's kind of what makes Giannis so much different because the Bucks team works because they're defense first. The offense is just a happy second thing that happens. I would need to go look at the numbers, but about this, my friend Kevin O'Connor, wish he would join one of these again, but he sent me a video 2 days ago, maybe last night, that basically broke down over 8 minutes why the Bucks are so good at defense this year. And one of the things they do is they limit corner 3-pointers, which in years past, they were actually just kind of happy to give up threes as long as they protected the paint. And the Mavericks didn't get many good corner threes looks this game. And that is
Redick mentioned that on the broadcast, actually. Yeah.
What's that?
No, I think Redick mentioned that on the ESPN broadcast, specifically.
And it was pretty incredible because that's just the Mavericks shoot the most corner threes in the league. And if you shut out one of your bread and butter options, that's why it's so interesting that the Mavericks were in this.
Yeah. That was the frustrating part about it, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
Well, then, other than the fact that everyone knows, like, oh, I'm sorry, where's Luka going to take this game-winning shot from? Is it that step back to the left from, like,
right,
that one part of the court? But never mind that. Just, overall, frustrating loss, I guess. When Giannis fouls out, annoying. But, like, too hard to be, like, upset, honestly. Like, we're just, like, not that good of a team. Like, I think it is,
which
like,
makes the slog hard.
Yeah.
Like, I don't blame anybody who checks in and out.
Exactly. Like, I think that, like, people played okay. Like, the missed free throws are, like, that's annoying. I want to blame coaching on a lot of this stuff, but, like, it's probably not honestly all on Kid. Like, I mean, these players have to take responsibility for, like, what
totally.
they're doing. But also, like, we're just not, like, really, like, a good team. Like, we're very much the team we are, right? Like, we're middle of the pack. Luka fucking Doncic is our saving grace. Like, how did we even get him? Again, like, we just have to remember how lucky we already have him for as long as he chooses to stay with us. And, like, that's it, I think, like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
thanks for hanging out, Brad. Hoping to see you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll win.
Appreciate it.
All right. Let's keep going. Robert, welcome back. What's up?
Can you hear me?
A little bit. Try again.
Is this better?
There we go.
Great.
Welcome.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. And I really like that people are relaxed. I want some of what the guy with the dreads is smoking, man. He was very calm.
Well, Josh is always that's why I'm glad to see him back in the room. Josh has always been kind of a beacon of positivity.
Really soothing.
It's soothing, yeah. It's you can't have me. I use the F word like I'm. I just fuck. I just can't. I'm so pissed. What a stupid way to spend my life. I have a job and a family, and I watch this garbage. What am I doing?
I know it's the worst. I'm gonna just run through some quick hits very quickly before I drink myself to death/sleep, and then some of them are actually positive. So the first is Tim Hardaway's not going anywhere. We're not trading him. No team is going to see him have 5 good games and trade for him. That's not happening. So let's put that out of our minds. He's here.
Which, if they do it, we have to give them credit if they do manage to find something.
Well, hey, the Shark Tank, the brilliant negotiator who, gave the Wizards picks and took on money and gave the best player. To get back Bertans and Dinwiddie, it's whatever. But I don't think Hardaway's going anywhere. I think they're going to have to attach an asset. That's not why I called or why I came in. Anyway, I blame Kid for so much of this. I know they have to hit the free throws. You don't really see this with other teams that are not coached by Jason Kidd. I don't know if it's a focus issue or what.
Well, it's mostly Luka. Luka shoots the bulk of the free throws, and he shot 85% for the first 5 games.
Oh,
and
I know.
It's been in the low 70s since.
I know. It was so glorious. I think he's even been worse since then because he's shooting worse than even his rookie year, which seems impossible. But it's very frustrating. The lack of the play calls. I actually thought that the reason they take just the Luka step back was because of Luka wanting to do that. But it really is just staggering. Like someone else I follow on Twitter was just saying something like, what does Jason Kidd say during timeouts? He was like, this isn't a joke. I'm not this isn't literally what does he say?
So one of the things I need to always remember is that when it comes to professional level basketball, sometimes there's not much to say. They give it's a breather, it's a mental break, it's a time to reset.
Yeah,
and I do think that's a big element of this. But when it comes to key situations, what happens? The half court hoops video we keep referencing. You see Luka looking at the bench going, they know, like he is trying to signal that the Bucks knew what was coming.
And
so
why
the Bucks
they?
knew what was coming. Luka knew that the
not?
Bucks knew what was coming, but the Mavericks didn't know that the Bucks knew what was coming. And that's sort of like getting like that. That's just do something else. Call an audible.
Just have any kind of. It's just staggering that. Like Logan earlier was talking about brain farts, and I think he referenced like when they fucked up the last second thing where Dorian fouled Durant as one of them. For a team that just plays so many close games, you'd think they would know what they were doing, but really there's so many things like that. Like against the Pistons when they had a foul to give and there was something like 16 seconds left and they just had like Hardaway run out and foul 2 seconds in for no reason.
It's too early in the year to have, Mike, by my count, so they're 13-12. They have 8 losses. 8 that are like right on. I could probably just go through and list them that are essentially how the fuck did that happen losses.
Yeah.
That's enough for a whole season.
Yeah.
Sometimes mistakes happen. Sometimes crazy shots go in. Like clutch basketball games happen. Like the Mavericks now have played 19 clutch games, I think. And that's too many. Because it sometimes things just go certain ways. You need to be able to win. Like they're up 12 and then they lost by 1. That's embarrassing.
And the fact that I tweeted when people were tweeting about Luka only hitting 3, he was 3 from 8 from the line. And I tweeted something like, when they lose by 1, I'm going to be furious. And it's like, how can you call, like, obviously that's me. I'm kind of a glass half empty because I don't want to get my hopes up. But also it's just like that. How is it so predictable that this would happen?
Right.
So my last thing that I just wanted to touch on, which is sort of a positive, Josh Green's been phenomenal, obviously. I actually was on the bandwagon, but even I was kind of like, well, let's pump the brakes because people were like, oh, he's going to be the third ball handler, which he's not still, but he's been phenomenal. I was playing around on Cleaning the Glass last night. Josh Green is a plus 12 coming into tonight. Lineups with Josh Green, Luka, Christian Wood, and Kleba are plus 26.5.
Oh, it's their best lineup. It's their best lineup, and Kid doesn't use it.
How many minutes? So they did play in the third to end the second half, or to end the first half, and I think to end the third. And then in the fourth, they just didn't play a single minute. A single minute. How does he not see it?
I need to say this very delicately because I don't want to say something that might get me in trouble. Okay. I am fairly certain that Jason Kidd does not care about lineup data whatsoever.
Yeah, probably not.
I have no proof. Well, that's not true. Anyway, whatever.
But that's shocking to me, especially since Cuban is Mr. like, oh, I'm the free thinker and I'm thinking outside the box and I'm using new technology.
Sure.
And it's just like, but you don't even need to use technology. Like, what was the lineup on the floor when they scored points and had defensive stops? And
Katie asks me, what is the proof? Well, the proof, Katie, and you're going to laugh at this, is the results. They don't use these lineups. like Carlisle used to like to keep shit in their back pocket. All coaches are like this.
Right.
Carlisle he wouldn't spam Luka pick and rolls with Porzingis. Just wouldn't do it. But they don't I don't really think Kid knows that this is his best lineup. I just don't.
And the other shocking thing is, if you go on Cleaning the Glass and do this, it's $5. It's absolutely worth it.
Cleaning Glass is fun.
There's not a single lineup with those 4 that has a negative plus minus.
And he wants to play Bullock. He wants to play. Like if Bullock could get a shot, I think that they'd see that more often.
Oh, and they would. But why not play? But he's addicted to Dinwiddie, which I get. Dinwiddie's hit huge shots, but at the end, he's just like they thought Dinwiddie could be Brunson. He's not Brunson.
Yeah.
He's just not. He doesn't pass, and if he
he can't see passes either.
No,
that's the painful thing. Like I didn't think Brunson was a great passer. Brunson made the obvious pass, I thought, but Brunson is a very good passer. I was wrong there. Spencer's a terrible passer.
Yeah, he just does that straight line drive, and if he doesn't have the edge, he's how many times has he gotten just stuffed like a goober right at the rim?
He has decided to make this the week where he gets the shit blocked out of him. Like. How many times can you go at the same big man who throws your stuff back at you?
He does it a lot. Wood does it too.
And then he has cool dunks, and it's like, oh, that's why he keeps doing it. Okay.
I was shocked when that happened. All right. And the Luka one. So, okay, well, that's it. But I just wanted to point out, I found it really shocking to look at the lineup data and just this kid stuff, man. I hate to, like, I'm not a basketball expert in the least. I don't know anything.
No,
so
but
I hate to be like, that coach is bad, but you just watch him and everything just screams the coach is bad.
See, it's funny you're saying this. In one of my group chats, I'm getting messages for where it's like we're talking about this, and that basketball is not hard to understand. It is very hard to master, but the concepts are straightforward. There's 5 guys. The best player usually makes things the most, when you have one of the best players, that solves almost 80% of a team's problems.
Yeah.
So it's but I'm glad you're enjoying cleaning the glass. It's a fun sight.
It's the best. All right.
Talk soon, bud.
Yep.
Okay. Coming up next, all the way from across the world. Hey, Ben. How you doing? Ben is a Bucks fan and was the Bucks fan I mentioned earlier, and will probably have some wondrous Jason Kidd thoughts. Ben, hit the unmute button if you can. Give Ben a second here. If you hop in and out of between apps, sometimes it doesn't let you hit the unmute button. There we go.
Yeah, no, it switched to my car audio, which I prefer to be on delay. So I'm not going to come here and talk about the Bucks winning because it was
okay.
A little bit of BS. But no, the Jason Kidd point. Number one, I'm sorry. We've been there. Number 2, I do worry for your sake that it's actually worse than what you said. I would be encouraged if Jason Kidd does not look at lineup data. The more worrisome take would be that he is told the lineup data and he purposely does not do it because he's being stubborn. Because he would do stuff like this on the Bucks all the time. Like there was one of the classic examples was like he would run a system where so the Bucks are doing very good at taking away shots at the rim and taking away threes, as you talked about. Jason Kidd ran a system where we gave up shots at the rim and gave up threes, so it was not ideal. And we would do all the blitzing, and so the front office actually went to him, and everyone was just losing their minds. And this was his last year, and they're like, "Look, you have to stop blitzing the pick and roll," and it was this big thing. And finally, they're like, "If you don't, allegedly, if you don't not blitz the pick and roll next game, you're going to get fired." And so next game, he does not. It was against Utah, who would always shred us because they would just destroy any team that would play a blitzing defense. Next game, Bucks don't blitz. They stay at home. They win the game very comfortably. After the game, Jason Kidd is asked why they play defense differently, and he's like, "We didn't. We played the same way we always do." And it was, number one, infuriating, but then number 2. He for some reason was interviewed on the Utah broadcast, on their local broadcast, and he talked about on that broadcast about how the Bucks were playing different defense tonight, and that's why they were doing so well. So he would not say it to the Bucks media, but he would to the Utah media. Now, I bring this up just to say, this is part of what makes him very frustrating. Is it's just like gaslighting and stubbornness the whole time, and so. Anyhow, I was gonna try to make you feel better and not talk.
No, it does.
Bucks, I think I just made it worse.
No, because I complain in our group chat about feeling gaslit because I feel crazy. He references. I don't think a lot of Mavs fans understand this. Bucks fans started a social media campaign called Fire Jason Kidd, and everyone had the same avatar. All Bucks tweets would be just flooded with Fire Jason Kidd stuff. I mean, that wasn't why they let him go, but he was an awful coach in the second year of Milwaukee. This year, he's been mostly he's been
I mean, he was there for 3.5 years, so it was the same thing. Like, he was unbelievable the first year. The Bucks completely exceeded expectations, made the playoffs, and then it just went downhill after that. And
because he did so well the first year, he probably got
right. He had a lot of runway. Well, you have the same problem the Bucks had, which is if you have one of the best players in the league, you're going to win a lot of games, irregardless of coaching. Right. But there's always going to be that section of the fan base that says, "Hey, look at all the games we're winning. The coach must be good," and that's very frustrating. So, anyhow, I don't feel bad that you lost because that meant we won, but I do feel bad for your situation. So,
that's fine.
My condolences.
Have a good day, Ben. Thanks for hanging out. We're gonna add. That's one of that. We're gonna count Ben as one more country of people coming from because we've had over the last week we had India, Australia. Where do we have? Slovenia. We got as many countries as possible. So if you want to hop in from another country, I'm a big fan of that. Rain, what's up?
Oh, hot evening in Australia and having to put up with this bullshit.
Sorry.
To piggyback off of things people have said 1,000 times and things you've said 1,000 times, at the end of the game, we go prevent offense, or defense. And what do you know? We don't hit shots. The offense turns to shit. We lose the game by 1. We miss all our free throws. And I understand that Tim Hardaway Jr. have been on a heater the last couple of games, but when he's not making any fucking shots this game, sit him.
Yeah.
He went back to the he had for the previous games in the season. Bench him. We've done it with I'm blanking. But look, why not? And I know we all have acknowledged that he ignores the metrics. Just leave Josh Green in. And with Christian Wood, as my avatar suggests, should be starting. Him and Green should be starting, regardless of what metrics say.
I
The
wish they
eye
changed his
test.
rotation. He only plays 24 minutes a game. He plays last 6 minutes of the first quarter, first 6 minutes of the second quarter, last 6 minutes of the third quarter, first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter. That's all he plays.
Yeah, that is all he plays. And yeah, his touches, because when he is on the floor, he often isn't used appropriately. Now, this game wasn't the best example. We've seen he does not match up very well with Brook Lopez. Just doesn't play well against him. It was fine when he's been guarded by Bobby Portis. Had some good plays there. Also showed some flashes of playmaking this game. Arguably a better passer than Dinwiddie was. I think playmaking-wise, it obviously goes Luka, Green, Wood. But when the eye test shows us we win minutes with Green and Wood on the floor with Luka, and that's why I want him to start. He's obviously a better player and used more efficiently with Luka, so start him and play the minutes with Luka. It just seems simple. We don't need metrics. The eye test tells us. But maybe kid's blind. I don't know. Maybe he's got his hands in his eyes and that's why they're always in his pockets.
Well, and I was so happy because since he'd lost his blue light glasses that he was wearing out there, the Mavericks were actually playing better. I don't know. My question with Kidd as coach has sort of been like, he's obviously a savant. Jason Kidd, basketball savant. You're not a Hall of Fame player unless you really understand basketball at a high level. I think he has a hard time explaining it because I never see him doing any actual explaining.
Well, that's a good point because what does he do? He doesn't run. We've been told he doesn't run track practices. He gives all the credit for the defense to Tim Sweeney. The offense was obviously coming from Igor. So what does he do? Manage personalities? Luke is pissed. He's clearly not managing that very well. He doesn't pay attention to Luke who's on the floor because, as we've all seen from that Twitter clip, he's begging Jason Kidd to tell them to run a different play. Nothing happens. What does he do? What does he do? Clearly he doesn't work for Tim Hardaway Jr. either. He's not managing him very well because he's fucking disappeared since Kidd came into the roster. He's obviously trying to throw Wood out. The only person who's improved really with him is Josh Green.
Which
and
is great.
Who knows, that might even be down to Sham God and development over time.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Anyway, that's my piece.
Well, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Hope you have a better day.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we reconvene. It's 1:30 in the morning. We will reconvene here in about 18 hours for more, hopefully for a little happier talk. Just a painful way to lose. That they lost it's not immaterial, but when you lose in would have much rather the last time the Mavericks played the Bucks, it was 124-115. The Bucks kind of basically bullied the Mavericks the whole game. It's a good game, fun game, but the Mavericks were outclassed. This game, the Mavericks were winning this game and then gave it away, and that's stupid. That sucks. See you guys tomorrow night. Check out MavsMoneyball.com for the same array of I wrote a recap, but I did a lot of the same yelling in here. So appreciate you hanging out. See you guys tomorrow.